Here at Bill and Larry's up at 72nd and Broadway, which is more or less the home base for, I guess it's Shields Racing.
And employment.
And employment, okay. But we're here to talk with Tim Shields tonight. Tim, I understand your dad used to build cars for a lot of the guys that race at Riverside. Is that more or less how you got introduced to racing?
Yeah. He pretty much told me it was. I think it was like 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
We started building the cars for Phil Withrow out there at Riverside.
Uh-huh.
Kept racing and racing. I got old enough, got my license, and he says, "You're not going circle track racing." Said all the hours and everything at night and all that stuff. He goes, "You're going to go drag race for a little bit." So.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's still speed and all that, but I don't know about yourself, but as far as I'm concerned, I think I'd much rather have that 8 laps or than I would that, 6 or 8 seconds?
Yeah, unless you red light, you're done.
But I just can't see that. I appreciate all you drag racers out there, but for myself, man, I think I'd want that time on the track.
Yeah, it's a lot more fun.
Yeah. Okay, so you dabbled in the drag racing for a while. Can you tell us a little bit about what you run and how you did at it?
Ran a 1976 Camaro.
Mm-hmm.
Did pretty good, won high school drags in it and a
Wow.
few other races, so we did pretty good at KCI. So.
Yeah, okay, out of KCI.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got tired of the straight line, and you decided to give yourself a try on the dirt. How did that come about, and where did you start at?
My brother got in a car wreck, and he just had purchased a mini Sprint. So we went to Winston. He says, "Come drive this car." Benz, I can't drive it.
Uh-huh.
So we went out there and done real well with it. Finished second or third, something like that, first night out.
Uh-huh.
So ran rookie of the year in it.
Yeah.
Done pretty good.
Okay, then
Once you do that, you're bit.
after you run at Winston, then you decide to go over to Savannah, and I understand you had 3 points championships over at Savannah.
Won 3 championships up there. Left there, went to Lakeside, watched a few races.
Yeah.
So let's build a street stock.
Uh-huh.
So something a little bit closer to our budget.
Yeah. It's amazing to me how much in racing this happens is people, and thank goodness they are, running within their budget because boy, you don't want to go broke. We got enough of that going on in this country right now. Okay, so you get out to Lakeside and decide that you want to do street stocks. Now, you choose a Camaro, and what I understand, maybe a lot of folks don't know, you've had this same Camaro, I think, for like 4 years.
Yep, same car.
That you've run, and each time I just put a new skin on the outside.
Yep.
And is there an advantage to Camaro? It seems like the Camaros really do well out there, and
I really don't think there is, to be honest with you. I mean, I jumped in a sprint car, or a Leaf sprint car, or coil sprint car, I'm sorry, also. Done good with it. So it's a matter of opinion.
Because that was one of the things I think I heard was the advantage of the Camaro was they had Leaf springs. And like some of the rougher tracks, why that really worked out well with the Leaf springs. But
Lakeside don't get that rough often. So.
Yeah. All right. Talking about the Camaro, unibody car, how in the world do you run a unibody car at Lakeside? Because several of the drivers that I've talked to, boy, Lakeside is really tough on equipment.
Bunch of bars.
So if that's the case, then they must be lighter to start with if you have to add all of this reinforcing stuff to them. It must
you got to gut them out pretty good.
Uh-huh. So you're still within weight limits, so when you add all of this.
Actually, we was 80 to 100 pounds heavier than everybody else.
Oh, really?
Yeah, starting out when we first started.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, that surprises me.
I went to Winkler, and he cut the front end back off of it and said I was running a cattle catcher.
Okay. One of the best years I think that I watched at Lakeside as far as street stock racing had to have been, I believe it was 2006, when yourself, Lynn, forgot his last name, Lynn Nelson, John Baker, you guys were all running for that points championship that year. And boy, it was fun because, to be honest, you was just never really sure who was going to pull that out.
It was a lot of competitive racing. I mean, like I was telling you, Philip Bradshaw's another one. So,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, he's unmodified.
He jumped up this year, too.
Yeah.
Okay, that sort of brings us up to the modern day. What you're doing this year, you've been running the Grand National class this year, finished 5th in the points, and under one race, you were in 3rd in the points, but had a little breakage and ended up running 5th.
Yeah. which is our goal anyways. Our goal was to finish 5th in the points. So
Mm-hmm.
until we broke, we actually was running 3rd. All we had to do was finish that night,
Uh-huh.
points championship night. So
It's amazing how it comes down to that sometimes, and how just one little thing can change the course of how a points race will go for a
it'll turn in
person.
a matter of seconds.
Yeah, yeah, sure can. Were you happy with this year? I mean,
Yes, I'd have to say it was pretty happy for being first time in a Grand National. We accomplished our goals and finished 5th in the points, like we said. So
Mhm.
I wanted the 3rd, but didn't get it. So.
Yeah. Okay. Far as I know, and I don't keep exact records, but I think this year you may be the only driver at Lakeside that has driven in all 3 classes. How difficult is it to, say, go from the Grand National and then jump in the street stock? I mean, usually it's probably in the opposite rotation because street stocks run first.
Yeah, street trucks, they run first. Actually, it's all in the steering.
Mm-hmm.
You got quick steer on the Grand National. You don't on the Camaro
Mm-hmm.
or on the factory stocks. Jump out of the Camaro, get in the Grand National. You turn the wheel the first time, you get down on the infield.
Yeah.
You know, yanking on the wheel too quick. Get out of the Grand National, get in the Camaro, and you're turning the wheel, and you think the car's pushing. It's not because you're not turning.
Not
the steering.
turning far enough.
That's just a one of them to mention to you.
Yeah. Okay. So now, what, you've had maybe 3 races in the modified, which I might say, you know, there were some good runs out there this weekend, and I thought you had in the
shootout.
Uh-huh.
Made the shootout. Won a heat race in one of them. So.
Now, was that Friday night when the track was really tacky?
No, it was actually a week before. It's not that was Jayhawk.
Oh, okay.
It was the
the
late
shootout.
model shootout.
I'm sorry, I'm not listening. Shootout.
That's
okay.
okay.
Okay. The shootout. What's the difference between the Grand National and the modified?
Well, the modified, I tried driving it like the Grand National, and pushed up to the wall, and I was like, maybe I don't belong in this car. Until I realized what they call is you dump the car, and I dump the car and get back on the throttle, and then said, whoa, this is how it goes. So
Okay.
took about 3 laps to figure that out.
Now, when you say dumping the car, is most of that created by the rear end of the car?
Yeah, whenever you get off the gas, crank the wheel, get off the gas, and the car actually, it unloads the car.
Okay.
That sets the back of the car, slide sideways on you.
Okay.
Pick the throttle back up, then you actually redrive the car.
Okay. I know what you're talking about. I don't know if any of you folks out there this week got to see the tape that we had in-car camera in Kerry Davis's car Friday night for hot laps, and man, I loved that. Most of the time the camera was pointed at the infield.
Yeah.
It wasn't looking straight ahead on the track. We were looking at the infield. Let's talk about your Grand National. What kind of chassis are we running, and who builds the motors?
Jimmy Winkler, I bought the car from him. It's actually one of his older cars.
Mm-hmm.
And bought the car from him and went out there in the October race and won a feature in it.
Yeah, I loved it that night because somewhere I'd heard that you had his car and you ended up beating him in it the first race.
He come over and told me about it.
I really liked it. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
And if I understand right, that night you were running your street stock motor in the Grand National.
Right. Had the street stock motor in it.
Did you make any changes to it?
No, put the 2-barrel on it. And a set of roller rockers.
Really? Okay. That's really great. I love that.
Yeah.
Tim, who's behind Shields Racing?
We got...
I'm sorry. Did we cover the motor builder?
Actually, Ray Litchell, he helped me get started and all that. He's helped me out quite a bit.
Uh-huh.
And then Mike McConnell, I went to school with him.
Mm.
He's helped me out tremendous.
Okay.
I mean, worked a lot of late nights.
Yeah.
Stuck some of his own money in it. and
Oh,
all
really?
that, you know.
Yeah.
He can actually build a pretty good piece. He's pretty smart.
Yeah.
And that's about the only people that's really mess with the motor.
Okay. We're down to the last minute. It's time to give all those people that are behind Shields Racing a shout out, as Carl Edwards would call it, I guess.
Carl
but
Edwards, oh, yeah.
Tell us who's behind Shields Racing.
Mainly my pit crew. Got to thank them right now. Otherwise, you know what? If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here.
Uh-huh.
Other than that, we got Quality Plumbing. Better mention my mom and dad.
Yeah, no, really.
Maristar Roofing, AAA Transmission.
Uh-huh.
All them guys.
Uh-huh.
The owners of the street stock now. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be trying to modified. Other than that, I'm sure there's a few I'm forgetting.
Yeah. Okay. Folks, we're going
to... Ray's Muffler, he's doing a good one. Mouse, the guy that does the painting and the signs on it, so...